Pinterest. How to get discovered on Pinterest. Pinterest is a visual search engine that we love. It's a search engine that has a lot of great ideas, great people, great connections, great positivity, and more importantly, it's a search engine that you can show up on from Google. And we're going to cover some topics today regarding Pinterest that we can call them subtopics specifically. Welcome, Kiana, Chikri Kali, and Jamil. Thank you for being here too. We are going to be talking about how to get discovered on Pinterest. If you'd like to know how to get discovered on Google, on search engines, and also on podcasts, listen to the previous episodes and replays that I have available before this one so you can catch up on those conversations that we had. What's up, Big Pat? Thanks for being here. So we're going to discuss how to get discovered on Pinterest and why it's important to look at Pinterest. Now, the algorithm of Pinterest is called Pixie. Let's just start there. Pixie is Pixie. So Pixie is Pinterest algorithm. And with Pixie, the algorithm is focused on elements. And these are the elements according to create.pinterest.com. You can also go there and check it out. More specifically, you can go to their blog and you can get this information on how to increase your discoverability on Pinterest. So we'll talk about this. Welcome, Luann. Thanks for being here. So the elements, appreciate the love. The elements are very important because when you look at the elements of your pins, your elements are going to determine what people are going to see. Because when you type in keywords, that's what shows up on your feed. Original images is another one too. Link quality is very important as well. Dimensions are very important too, right? When you have an image and you're using it as a way of showing someone information, then it's going to be very personalized. The experience is going to be very personalized. So if you're looking at your Pinterest boards or Pinterest pins, or how do you even show up online, how do you get connected, there are ways to do it automatically. I'll run this down real quick. So if you have an article on your website that you publish consistently, then you can connect your RSS feed from your website. So when you go to the settings on the back end, and you have to be in a Pinterest business account because it's different from a Pinterest personal account. So when you go to business.pinterest.com, sign up if you don't have an account and create a free business account with your business work email, professional email. And then when you create this, when you go to the settings, there's going to be a section where you can add your website. So if you publish articles on your website consistently, then the thumbnails, the featured images you have on those websites, or let me even be more specific, if let's say you have 10 images and you publish one article, then you're going to have 10 images on Pinterest automatically because those 10 images are going to be pulled from your blog, from your article off of your website to Pinterest. And each one of those images, since there are 10 of them, will all have the same link back to your website. So if you think about images on Pinterest and using videos on Pinterest, you can also do carousels on Pinterest. You can run ads on Pinterest. You can run ads by zip code on Pinterest. You can do quizzes on Pinterest. You can get leads on Pinterest. There are a lot of things you can do on Pinterest that people don't know. And it's very, 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 very unsaturated compared to these other social media platforms. So looking at Pinterest is very important to understand where your home feed is going to be, what your search results are going to be looking like. And there are 4 key elements for discoverability that Pinterest have talked about. The first one is relevance. How relevant is your Pinterest pin based on the description in the title? Are there strong keywords in your description? Are you using images that accurately reflect your content? If you're talking about food tips, if you're talking about finance tips, there should be something that should create an element of surprise. And that should allow someone to click on it and say, oh, I like this. Okay, let me read this, because everyone's saying the same thing. So how do you distinguish yourself from the others? So that comes into play when you're using Pinterest, both internally and externally. Internally, to connect to the audiences that you have on Pinterest.com. Externally, to show up on Google Images, because under Google Images, your Pinterest pin could be there. That's very possible. So you look at your relevance, and if you think about your relevance, you want to check your relevance by how many times you're able to share content with Pinterest, share content from your website. The second one is uniqueness, right? Focus on Pinterest trends. Go to trends.pinterest.com, go to trends.pinterest.com, and you can see all the Pinterest trends based on what's going on, what's happening. And one thing I always like to say when you use Pinterest, always look for colors. Colors. Colors are going to help you. Hex codes are your best friends on Pinterest, because when you have the right colors on your images, when you have the right colors that you have, let's say you're wearing the right colors, let's say you have a red t-shirt or a red dress or a white t-shirt or a white shoes, whatever it is, right? If it's gold, silver, whatever it is that you have, it's going to be a reflection of how people are going to find you on Google, on Pinterest. Welcome, Lena and Harini. So you're creating your content for discoverability, and it has to be unique. That's why color is unique. So let's say you use purple, for example, and you're talking about something that could be focused maybe on wellness. And then you run an ad, and at the same time, maybe you're not even running an ad, but you're showing up in the search results for a certain key phrase. And because you have purple in your background, a company like Wayfair could also show up on your feed. Now, when it comes to wellness and Wayfair, like, you can look at this from two different angles. One angle is Wayfair is focused on interior design. When it comes to just comfort at home, what are you getting for your home? What are the homely things that you want to add to your aesthetic? Now, wellness is also part of that too, because wellness is mental. So it's very mind driven. So if you're creating content and you're using purple and it's in the context of that, then Wayfair can show up on your ad space or within the listing. Another thing you can also consider too is based on the words that you write. Pinterest, when you drop the P, it's interest. So what are people interested in that they're going to pin for later? So people pin on Pinterest so they can save for later. And when you start noticing people have high numbers of saves, that means the number of saves tell you that people are going to come back. If 1,000 people save this pin, if 2 people save this pin, if 10,000 people save this pin, welcome Sack Black. When the people save the pins, that is an indication that there is value and substance because they discovered you on Pinterest first. So if you're using Pinterest for discovery and you start writing content and people start saving your content, you start realizing what the content is, then that helps too. How do you even get discovered in the first place? When you get discovered, look at your language, right? There are different age ranges there. So the way you're also going to write is different. The way you write on LinkedIn is different from the way you type on TikTok. So if you're going to have captions that are going to be search friendly or search based, welcome Ijal and Oki. When you have search phrases that are searchable, then your discovery on Pinterest is going to get much easier. Now, there are some things to note because if I don't say this, it wouldn't be complete. On Pinterest, when people are searching, they're searching based on what they want, right? They're going to just search, I'm looking for red velvet, or I'm looking for red dresses, or I'm looking for red bottoms. They're going to search for those key phrases just typing them, right? Now, if you were to be running ads, welcome Celeste, if you were to be running ads behind Pinterest, a good thing that you could actually do on Pinterest is when you run ads on the platform, you can run ads by at least 25 keywords per set. You can do way more than 25 keywords. But if you do more than that, then you're able to even determine and see what types of keywords people are searching for. So let's say we have 25 keywords. I can turn these 25 keywords into 100 keywords. How do I do this? On Pinterest, what happens is that you can create a list of keywords, and this is also possible with Google too, when you run Google ads. So Pinterest has the same effect too, but Pinterest, I would say, has a much sharper effect because it has a longer lifespan. Yes, Google ads are great, but Google ads could be more expensive. Welcome, Austin. So I can turn 25 keywords to 100 keywords. How? I'm going to have 4 different buckets, right? So there's going to be bucket 1, 25, bucket 2, 25, bucket 3, 25, and bucket 4, 25. Now I have the first bucket full. How am I going to fill the other 3 buckets without changing my keywords? Without changing my keywords, how do I add 25 keywords and turn them into plus 75 keywords? This is what you do. On Pinterest, for you to get discovered, let's say we have social media marketing, right? Let's just give that example. There's social media marketing, there's social media trends. And let's say you have a social media checklist on how to audit your social media, better in 2026, something random like that. Now, if you have social media marketing, social media trends, and let's say you have social media and there are about 25 different variants of the keyword, that's 25. Now you take those same keywords and you now put quotation marks, right? Now you've turned those from broad matches, because when they don't have any commands, they're just open. So they're called broad keywords. Anytime you're typing on Google without any type of side operation or any type of coding or any type of just, I can say, slicing your keywords, and you're just typing best restaurant near me, best plumber near me, best flights for the weekend, cheap flights for the weekend, whatever you're looking for, business class tickets for airports to Hawaii, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're going to be searching for them based on those key terms, right? Now, when you use those key phrases that you're typing, they're technically broad keywords. So those broad keywords are just broad. When you hear something is broad, there's no end to end. It just is what it is. So it's broad. So someone can be typing eggs and that's it. Now, imagine if you take those keywords that are broad, there are 25 of them, right? Line by line by line. And then you take the same ones and then you now add quotation marks next to each of them. When you do that and you add quotation marks to each of them, now you have 50 keywords. So 25 keywords don't have quotation marks. Another 25, the same set, have quotation marks. Then you do the third set. That third set now would have brackets. Now that's what you call exact keywords. When they have brackets, when they're exactly in brackets, not the curved brackets, the rectangular brackets, that's your 75 keywords, right? I'll leave the fourth one for another day. I'm not going to stuff you all with all this information, but you can get to 100 keywords. And right now I've already filled up 2 more. So I have one that's empty, which I can fill. So the whole essence of what I'm saying here is, if you decide to take your keywords and turn them into phrases, turn them into exact and turn them into broad matches, then the keywords will now become very specific to how you also start seeing the results. When people start looking for your content, it's because they're looking for something that you wrote in your description, a keyword that is found in your URL, which is important, and also a key phrase that is found within the meta title. So all these things are very important, right? It's content quality. So when you think about content quality is going to be highly dependent on how well, how sharp, how clean, how I can say crisp your content is. Does it look good on desktop? Does it look good on mobile? Does it look good on tablet? Does it look good on a small screen, on a large screen? Because those are things that are going to play a big role into how people discover you. So Pinterest is a place where you can learn, you can grow, you can earn, you can be able to use affiliate links. Let's say you use Amazon, you can connect there. Another way you can actually connect all your social media accounts, specifically Instagram, from the last 365 days. You can do that in the settings too. So imagine you're posting content. Welcome, Coach Z. You're posting content consistently on Pinterest, but because you're posting on Instagram, because you're posting on your website, Instagram and your website have a copy. Pinterest also has a copy. So you have 3 copies for one piece of content. So if you do that consistently, then you realize that you're creating more and more content. Either you're going to do it, or you hire an agency to do it, or you work with us to do it. Then that way you can now start seeing that pathway to your own business, and you can actually learn it on the way. Because some people say, okay, I'm going to pay for this, but you learn. When we have 12 weeks together, every week we're going to have an hour. And in those hours, they're recorded. So you can always go back, even if you want to go back 24 months from now and go to see what we talked about in January or in April, you'll be able to see that. So be specific on how you're able to use Pinterest, and think about Pinterest as a storage for social media, but now in a search engine, because it's a hybrid. People are using Pinterest because they use it personally. They want to pin this, they want to pin that. They have an event, they want to wear some shorts. They're looking for vacation ideas. They're looking for, dress up ideas. They're going to go to Pinterest, right? But if you're using it for business, you can get so much insight, because now you can actually learn how people interact with you. And that way you're able to see what people like. And there's a section called Audience Insights on Pinterest, and that way you're able to know how to get discovered there. So there are very many layers to cover this, and I'd love to hear if you guys have any questions. We're going to have a very short room today because Pinterest is a lot, and I want to make sure that at least you can listen to it, rewind, and then we can talk about it again another time. Celeste, good evening. How are you? Hope you're well. We'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the conversation and what you're thinking about Pinterest? Just general. What are you thinking? What's in your mind?
I'm glad you said that, because you already knew what I was going to say. Hey, everybody. I told you this keeps happening where I'm like, oh, let me look on Clubhouse, and here you are. Love it. Hi, everybody. My name's Celeste, and I'm a marketing nerd. That's pretty much all you need to know about me. As far as my general thoughts, hold on one sec. Okay. I personally love Pinterest. Like, I am an artist. Find that, especially if you have a product-based business, I think Pinterest is such an underutilized tool. And yeah, so that's your message. If you got a product-based business, go ahead and lean into what Favour is teaching about today. And yeah, those are my general thoughts. I will hand the mic back to you.
Thank you, Celeste. Pinterest is a really cool place. And it's actually interesting. Clubhouse started the way Pinterest started. Clubhouse started with invite only. Pinterest back in, I believe, 2010 started with invite only. So if you think about the community, the depth of what you're using the platform for, it can do so much good for you, because that's a place that you can still post content and leave content for years, and they're still relevant. There are people who post years and years and years of content there, and it lives on forever. I've seen articles on Pinterest that I've read myself, which are very engaging and also very informative, that were published back in 2013. And it will show you published 2013, but you're seeing it in 2026. So the content does not, people say, oh, if I write content today, how will people see it? How people will see it is based on how active your website is. Because if I go to your website, let's say you published this content in 2013, and now in 2026, you've updated this material. Because you've republished your article on your website, it has resurged the traffic and it has refreshed your inventory back to the servers, which now says, hey, this person updated this article on the website. Let's post it on Google. Let's post it on Pinterest. So it becomes a snowball effect because you're posting once and you keep recurring and recurring and recurring and recurring over time. So it's really a master of planning and strategizing than just posting and ghosting. So it's important to look at those two. Jason, we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Good evening.
Good evening. I am on everything else except for Pinterest. So this one I just kind of listened because I know, like, I started in marketing way back in 98, 99. I know before some of the young people were born. And I respect that you two are, top of the game here. Favor, I think you are the one that I said I saw on the app to stay consistent posting on marketing on all of the different topics. So this one I just want to listen in just so I know what's going on all of the different platforms. So yeah, cheers to you. I'm just going to listen on this one.
Thank you, Jason. I would love to ask you guys, and you can unmic and also put in the chat as well. We'd love to know, what is your okay, let me ask the question this way. What is your favorite way of finding information? How do you find information? And Gracie said you wanted to speak. Go ahead. Welcome to the Marketing Club. Do you have a question, contribution? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask,
That was actually
Okay,
kind of
that
funny. I
happens
ain't gonna lie.
sometimes.
Just a
That
little
was
bit.
actually hilarious.
Okay. Celeste, you want to answer the question or do you want me to answer the question first? Okay, then I switched to Google, doing searches on Google, and now I do ChatGPT checks. So I asked ChatGPT to gather the top 10. If I'm looking for a certain thing, I'll be like, what are the top 10 sources for this? Because I started doing the top 10 stuff back when I started the Dream Decade Challenge in 2010. So right now I'm using ChatGPT.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Celeste?
Most recently my iPhone updated and it's like, hey, would you like to connect Siri to ChatGPT? And I don't know if y'all have heard me talk about ChatGPT just in the last couple weeks, but ChatGPT is on my side eye list because, long story short, it don't be recommending my business when I'm kind of like a goat in the game, and I'm just like, well, what's going on, ChatGPT? So I'm still researching how to get on ChatGPT's good side, but for the most part, I usually ask Siri, and Siri is now connected to ChatGPT, but I'm thinking about disconnecting it just because it's being a little shady towards me. That's my answer.
You know how you can get on ChatGPT, Celeste?
Oh,
I've said it before, but you're always gonna be like, ugh, okay, here we go. Podcasting.
okay, but see, maybe we need to have another offline discussion because none of the recommendations that it is giving, none of them have a podcast. So how does that correlate?
How it correlates is, especially now, there are two things. There's the LLM, which is the large language models that we hear about, and then there's the NL web, which is a natural language web. So, or in other words, a semantic web. So if someone's going to be looking for, let's actually role play, Celeste, because I don't want to just give you a random example. What would people be searching for to find you if they were searching on ChatGPT?
Specifically face painting in Portland.
Has 5 words. Yeah.
I'm in for face painting in Portland. That's what I put in.
Okay. Let's do it right now. If you have
ChatGPT. I know I just researched it recently, so I can just pull it up. Here we go. Face painter Portland Ricos. Okay. The first one, Candy's face paint, which is crazy that this person's even recommended. I'll save my thoughts for another time. The Party Station, Glamourita, the Gilded Cat, and Portland face painting with Miss J, Cherry Lime Cheeks. Those are the ones that they recommend.
Okay. When they recommended it, were there any citations, any links, or they were just mentioned?
Yes. So the first one is linking to the person's website, candysfacepaint.com. Second one, same website. Third website. The fourth one is actually linking to like a kind of like a gig service. It's called The Bash. Other ones, they're all linking to their websites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're all linking to their websites, I'm searching on mine because I use Manus, so I'm going to see what I get because I just did find top face painting businesses in Portland. So it's
Yeah, what
giving
does it say
me
on your end?
it's doing its QF4 right now. It's query fan out. So let's see. It's giving it some time. It's going to Yelp. Interesting. It's looking for Yelp citations. It's also looking at, I see 3 Beast Traded or something like that. I'm seeing that there's Mystique's Fancy Faces. There's UB Painted.
Yeah, see, that first one is mine.
Wait, the Mystique Fancy Faces. Now that is last on the list. So it says UB Painted, then Fancy Faces by Amy, and Mystique Facey Fancies. But what I noticed is that whenever it puts, I'm glad you mentioned that because I said it in reverse. But normally what happens is when I see the last brand that is mentioned in the QFO, that means that it took more time to focus on the last one than the first one. It sounds crazy, but what I notice is when it tells you, oh, we have this brand, and this brand, because it normally gives you 3 options. The third brand is normally the one that it looks out for the most, and then it now matches it up to the first and the second. So right now it's saying, okay, UB Painted offers professional face and body painting with packages starting at $125 per hour, 2 hours minimum. And then it's now going to the next ones. And you see, it started off with UB first, and then it went to Fancy Faces, and it's now coming to Mystique. So now, since it's using those 3, it's now searching on the others that is given. It's even going all the way to Vancouver to look for it. Now it's saying it's found Portland-based face painters like Miss J and Boca's Face. So it's now getting more than what I asked for, and it's looking at the packages and the reviews, looking at the pricing on their website. So technically what's happening is because AI is searching for these results, it's going to Yelp, it's going to these review sites. And now in my mind, I'm wondering if, Celeste, if you have, I'm just thinking out loud, if you have, let's say, a BBB review site, or you have a Trustpilot site, or you have a Google site, and you have, or let's say any of these 3 that are now focused on getting reviews, because most people are looking for services based on the reviews that they've seen, then you could also use that as a way to franchise, quote unquote, your website, because you can also have those reviews on there. So as it's giving me the list, I want to hear what your thoughts are before I give you the list that it's given me.
So first, whatever you use, Like, I'm okay with not being first, if that makes sense. But the reason why I was mad at ChatGPT is it didn't list me at all. And I'm just like, okay. And then, okay, the very first person they listed, for lack of a better term, it's just like the quality isn't even that good. So I'm just like, okay, how exactly, are they scrubbing this info to get these, reviews? And then on the flip side, right, if you use Google, obviously, that's my claim to fame. Like, I definitely, rank really high on Google. So I'm like, what is kind of the missing link there? So that kind of kicked some fire under me to really go in and like revamp my website, because I do make, changes here and there, but as far as like a real deep like dive, like I haven't done in a while. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But go ahead and give your list.
So here is the list that I see. What it tells me, and it went in detail. It talked about UB face or UB painted face and body painting. They've been in business since 2002. It even gives me the person. Then it gives me Mystique faces, fancy faces. That's you, but it doesn't give me. It says Mystique's Fancy Faces is one of Portland's most established and high volume face painting services, having served over 100 events. That's a big one. And congratulations to you. That's very commendable. So for AI to cite that, it's a good thing because it's telling me more about you. Now, here's a little thing that's different. UB Painted Face has given me the email contact of the person. And with yours, I also see your contact there too. Now, the difference is the email of the first one has the name there. Yours has a business name. And then when I look at the third one, which is Fancy Faces by Amy, it doesn't give me, okay, I see, yeah, it gives me the name, but it doesn't give me the actual person because Amy is there already in the name, but it doesn't give me the actual person. It gives me the business name. Then number 4 is Nicole's Face Painting and Body Art. Then Boca's Face, that's in Vancouver. That's
What's funny is Boca, she
Washington.
moved.
Yeah,
she doesn't even service this area anymore. How do I know? Because she used to work for me. She lives in Seattle now.
Right, she's in Seattle. That's what I'm seeing as well. So she's in Washington and she serves Portland Metro. And then Cosmic Faces PDX, Portland Face Painting by Miss J, Party Station, and then it gives me everybody pretty much on the scale. And then it gives you.
And which one are you using? Sorry, what search engine?
Manus.
Manus. I never even heard of that. What is that?
Manus is crazy. I'm going to talk about it very soon. And I don't use ChatGPT Cloud. I don't use any of these other AI tools because they actually found them. I got to know about them before they got acquired by Meta, which was crazy. I remember I just joined and then they were like, oh, we got acquired by Meta. And also thank you, Manus, because they also shipped package to me too, which is actually interesting. So I've been using the platform and it's very deep. It gives me a lot of detail that I didn't even ask for, and then it makes me even ask more questions because I'm able to actually challenge the questions or the answers that I get. So I've asked it to review all your sites, and I can even send you a report so you can see, because I even went into the schema, because the reason why, like you're saying, that they may be having more traffic than you is because they're platforms that haven't been touched, or I can say they've been untapped, where you can also bring in your expertise and also connect your website, because there's something called entity SEO that I talked about, which is now a new way of search engines and bots to talk to each other to actually understand who you are based on the context of what you do. Like the first one, you saw her name there, but the second one was you, but it was your business name there. So they should be Celeste Williams should be there, and also Mystique Fancy Faces should be there too. So when you have both of them, it's now saying, oh, okay, we have both. We have the information, we have all the details, and then it tells you exactly what it is. Like for yours, it gives you your specialty is high volume events and balloon art. I don't see any balloon art in any others. The other ones are different. There's henna, there's kids parties, there's fundraising, there's full body art, but yours is very specific. So you have something unique outside of them, and it's a good way to know exactly what's going on. So just imagine, let's say you use Pinterest in context of what we're talking about today, and you use Pinterest, and especially because you have all these great face paintings that you've done in the past, and you put them out there on Pinterest, you're just gathering content, you're just gathering data, and before you know it, you have all that coming back to your website, and you don't have to run traffic or even run campaigns because you're doing it organically, and that's where your content is living. So for your business, Celeste, Pinterest would be one of the best places, because I know you don't like Instagram like that, but if you're thinking about anything visual, Pinterest would be the best place for your industry.
Okay, you lost me with podcasts and you found me with Pinterest. Thank you. And I guess I do understand, because I think we talked about this in your last room where someone was asking about like backlinks. I think it's more of having multiple sources to verify what you do. That's how I think of a backlink. It's like, all right, if someone only has one source of saying, oh, this person's good, versus you have 25 sources saying, oh, yes, this person is legit. It just gives you more credibility. So, yes, I think I do need to focus more on the places that I'm not on, making sure I just have some kind of presence and see what happens. But ChatGPT, I'm still on your ass. Okay, back to you.
Yo. No, that's dope. Thank you, Celeste, for giving me this insight, because I even ran an entity SEO score on all of y'all. And do you want to know the score?
Oh,
Do you know the
Lord.
grade?
I don't know. Do I?
You tell me. Actually, let's ask the room. Put a 1 in the chat for yes and put a 2 for no. If y'all want to see the grades, put a 1 for yes in the chat, put a 2 for no. Let's see. Let's see if anyone is listening, so that if anyone is listening, they can tell you and we'll be able to hear it together. Okay, no one has put anything in the chat. So, Celeste, you might get saved by the chat tonight. Nobody's saying a word. 1 in the chat if you want to see or hear the results. 2 if you don't want to hear the results. And if they're quiet, that might just mean, I might send it to you privately.
Okay, they're like, we don't care. Let's get back to Pinterest.
Right, exactly. If you look at these things, I'm looking at them from all different angles. And one of the reasons why I'm even looking at it like this, for you specifically, if you're on Pinterest, is because these are going to give you a different outlook on how you're able to show up online. Because there are things like, of course, you have to be GBP verified, Google Business Profile verified. You have to think about your Google ratings and your Google reviews. That matters a lot. So when you think about your ratings and reviews, people just say, oh, we have reviews, but your ratings are also important as much as your reviews. So when you look at those things, it also affects your knowledge panel graph. And it also affects how Google knows you. What is the knowledge panel looking like? Is it yes? Are you a painter? Are you an artist? Are you a studio? Are you local? What does that look like? And then what is the category supposed to be too? So these things are very important as well. And when you look at all the things that are in place, Celeste, you're at the top. Let me just let you know now. And then everybody else, you got an A, and everybody else got some other grades that are not A's. So there's some things that you did on your website that has given you that. So I'll just tell you that. So when you look at different locations, there's some places that you're not at. There's some places that you are at. So when I looked at the whole rating, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely there's some things that we can definitely do to make it even more established also for you long term. But long term, when I look at everything, when you look at your consistency, your social signals, your citation depth, your editorial authority, because you do SEO, of course, it's not a surprise because you do this, so it's good. But at the same time, when you look at it from the long term perspective, yeah, adding Pinterest for you would be like cherry on top. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And that's how you can get discovered on Pinterest, by just having consistent content, showing up on your websites, being on other sources of platforms that actually can drive traffic back to your website, and then using Pinterest as a way to actually signal that you have images, because people are visual. People want to see, people want to look at things. So the more people are able to see those things, it makes them easier to understand. And then the algorithms understand, the bots understand, and the consumers understand. So that helps a lot. Thanks as well, Celeste, for that. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on that too.
Yes. Okay. This is putting some fire under my butt. I'm excited. Also, since we're having a Celeste session, what are your thoughts on Reddit?
Reddit is a go-go. I am on Reddit as well. Reddit is definitely a place that you want to be on. And all these platforms sound like, man, I got to be everywhere. That's what people start thinking. And then they get overwhelmed and they're like, nah, we're not doing it. But if you think about it long term and you're thinking about a forum or using Reddit as a place to answer questions to the community, it's good. So if you go on Fiverr or if you hire someone, an agency, if you work with us, if you do it on your own and you have a Reddit account, then that Reddit account is going to subreddits that are talking about topics you can discuss, and then you can go there and add your content. You can upvote people. You can actually write comments. And the thing about Reddit is not like Instagram or TikTok, because people actually have, I can call them pseudonyms or moniker names. They have game tags or user tags. They have usernames that you will not know who they are. They can be saying UW859ZZ. And that's somebody actually talking to you. It's not a bot, it's a person, but they're not going to give you their exact name. But it's a place where people can talk without having any bias of, oh, you said this, oh, Celeste said this, or Favour said this. No. So you can actually use it as either your name and then use that, or you can make it into a different type of name or use it for your business, which is even better. And then if people comment, you won't know who's really commenting, but you know people are communicating. So it's a good platform to be on. And why? Especially because Reddit allows you to create hyperlinks. So whenever you make a comment, you can actually hyperlink your text, and then you can now backlink your website from Reddit. And that's what happens. So when someone's looking for a Reddit thread and you have your website, it's also pulling strings from those extensions too. So Pinterest, Reddit, LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, these are big pull stringers, or string pullers, however you want to put them. So yeah, it's a caterpillar to a butterfly moment that you can actually use for your business. How does that sound, Celeste?
Yeah, it's basically giving, do what the others won't do energy. That's what I'm getting here. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, so I wanted us to talk about this today. How to get discovered on Pinterest, how to do this for yourself, how to make sure that you are working smart and not working hard, because we have to work smart. And the fourth one that I mentioned, I said there were four: relevance, uniqueness, content quality, and the fourth one is user engagement, right? So if people save your content, if they click on it, if they comment, if they share, if they add it to their website, if they pin it, if they send an email, if they create a group board, anything that is Pinterest worthy, Pinterest friendly, it's going to be accessible. So getting discovered on Pinterest is important. And here's something that I want to say last before we close. When you do all these things, how to get discovered on Pinterest, like we talked about how to get discovered on Google yesterday. With Google, you have to submit your website to Google Search Console. With Pinterest, you have to claim your website. So there are 3 ways you can claim your website. I'll just give you one of them. And they all have the same routing, if I would say directly or indirectly. So when you go to your settings, you go to claim website. Then when you claim website, they're going to give you a TXT record. You're going to copy that record and then paste it into your DNS. So wherever you bought your domain, you now paste it into your DNS record. And then when you submit it, you now go to Pinterest and then you go to next and then you claim it, and that's it. You're done. What happens now is anything that you post gives you 100% credit. So even if you're posting UGC content, you can actually get credited for that on Pinterest, compared to, like, let's say Instagram or TikTok, where you just share somebody else's post or content, but you don't get any credit for it. The credit is not in cash. The credit is in context and in social currency. So in other words, if you create content on Pinterest and your Pinterest gets saved. You post something, let's say from TikTok, you bring it to Pinterest and you get the credit for that. As long as you're citing and you're also referencing the source, you get the credit. Even though you cited the source, you get the credit because you claimed your website. It sounds crazy, but it's what happens on Pinterest. But also you don't have to spam the account. There's something called a creator code. So you have to do it as well ethically with compliance. You can't just be spamming because you want to do UGC content. It has to make sense and it has to be relevant. So once you apply those four, it just makes everything better for you. So I wanted to cover this today and give you some insights on how to get discovered on Pinterest. And I hope this helped you and give you some insights on how to get started and what to do to get your Pinterest in motion, because Pinterest is a really good platform. If you really connect the dots, you can do a lot on the platform. Celeste, what would be your final words to let people know on how they can connect with you or how they can take the next steps forward?
Just as someone who mostly ingested this content forcefully, Favor, I just want to say, thank you for always just pouring into the people. Like, y'all do know that he mostly does this, out of his free time. And, he doesn't, I know you get clients, but you're not necessarily getting paid for this, hour or so. So thank you so much. And be sure to show him some digital currency, y'all, not coins, just like, a follow, a like, all those things. I do want to kind of speak from the perspective of like a business owner. I think the reality is, being in business is just hard, and so I know sometimes all these instructions can get overwhelming, but I'm learning how to just be like, all right, it's going to be hard. You got to just go do it. So, we got to be doers. I also coach a group of people, and I always say, the information I give y'all is useful if you're not going to go apply it, because at the end of the day, we're here to get results. We're not here just for fun, right? We're here to get to the money, and we can only do that by putting in the work. So thank you so much, Favour, again, for hosting this room, and see you tomorrow. Yeah? Are you hosting a room tomorrow?
We're going to see. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see.
Good.
I want to see if I can give y'all a nice break, or I can come back tomorrow. But yeah, definitely I will be doing this a lot more, and there's some really cool topics I've prepared for us so that we can do this. And I know what I'll plan to do is have more of the meetings earlier in the day, because I realize I can either do it in the middle of the day or at the night time. So usually that time people come here and the room is very specific. It's different. Even the energy feels different in the room, when it's late night. But usually in the afternoon, I know people are ready to go. They're pumped. So we'll definitely see how it goes over the weekend, but also do some really great content here. But I'll also let you know too, Celeste. So thank you so much for being here, y'all. This was amazing. We talked about Pinterest, how to get discovered, how it works, where you can go. If you want to get started today, go to business.pinterest.com and start a Pinterest business account and get discovered on the web today. Thank you, Luan. Thank you,
Yeah, actually a super quick question. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to go.
What's up?
Just clicked in my brain. You know how I use SEMrush to look up Google SEO stats? Is there something like that for Pinterest? Can you see what people are searching on Pinterest? See metrics and data?
Yeah, you can go to Pinterest Trends.
Pinterest Trends. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go to trends.pinterest.com and you can see all the trends and what's going on. And I mentioned too that when you look at the different things you see on Pinterest, focus on the color, because if you see teal or green or red, those are cues for you to actually add to your creative so that you can also show up in those search results. That's why I was saying hex codes are your best friends. So the good thing with Pinterest, you can download images and then take them to Canva, take them to Adobe, get the right colors, infuse them into your brand. If it makes sense and if it actually matches, you might want to still use your brand colors, but you can use those accent colors for text or for backgrounds, foregrounds, banners, whatever it is that you want to do. Make it creative, make it yours, make it unique. It's your world. So thank you so much for that question, Celeste, and I hope that helped y'all too. So thank you for being here again, y'all. It's been a pleasure being with you today. If you want to connect with me and stay in touch, the link is available above. Click the link above. If you need SEO services and resources, book a call with me. All the links are available there so we can talk. If you have a pink ticket, I see y'all. Make sure that you don't leave this house without leaving your ticket at the door by going at the very top and clicking the marketing club so you can be part of this club. We have over 353.5K members. So you can be here and connect and serve all the replays that are available to you. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Luann again, Sack Black, Coach Z, Falcon, Jose, Dark, Dana, Ellie, Mian, Asiatic, and Sonia. Appreciate you. We do this. I'll see y'all again in the next room. Have a wonderful evening. God bless y'all. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Welcome to season 13, where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. A lot of information is always given on this show. So, we're in the 13th season. God has brought us so far, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to connect with you today on such quiet, calm space like this. So thank you for listening. Know that Jesus loves you, and know that you can always connect with me on the We Don't Play Podcast show. More specifically, go to WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com, or you can go to playinc.online. That is PLAYINC.online, and get in touch with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk. Let's focus on SEO for 2026 and beyond. So until we meet in the next episode, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay blessed, and stay tuned. Bye for now.
Feel your best and amplify your everyday look with Thrive Cosmetics. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/shine26 for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/shine26.